August, when we recommended it at $1.85 per share, you'd be up 18,000%. And while Amazon and Netflix have had a good run, we think these 5 other stocks are screaming buys. And you can buy them now for less than $49 a share. You can grab a copy of 5 growth stocks under $49 for free for a limited time only. Now, don't look back 5 years from now regretting that you've...
Is marriage for white people? That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people how the African-American marriage decline affects everyone? It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for Black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a Black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load. Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of Black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to Black men. They are attracted to Black men, but attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate Black women's attraction to Black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of Black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working Black women to just forget the notion of marrying a Black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows people are receptive to the idea of interracial marriage. In 1968, the numbers were quite low for whites approving of interracial marriage. This is a Gallup poll from USA Today, but today those numbers skyrocketed for both Blacks and whites. So does the author have a point? Is the Black marriage nearly obsolete? Is the idea just for white people? Have a Black couple here who says, hello, I'm right here. Joining us more to talk about this is Lamar and Ronnie Tyler, bloggers for Black and Married with Kids. All right, Tyler, so I guess my first question is, what is your reaction to what you have just heard? A lot of people have been talking about this.
I just think the book is dangerous and it's sending a dangerous message.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely think it is just perpetuating all of the negative stereotypes that are out there. Mm-hmm. And now is the time for Black people to come together and to work together, not to look outside of our community.
We're not Black.
Dangerous how so?
And
I want you to answer this because he seems to be putting a lot of negativity out there on Black men.
Sure. Well, I think what he's done is created a perfect mechanism to sell books, but not so much to help African-American women.
All right.
And I think, he's portraying this like this is some type of help tool for them, but not at all. I think anytime when you say that one entire group of people, specifically based on race, is bad and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not helping anybody. Instead, the conversation should be if there are problems in African at all, it's not helping anybody. Instead, the conversation should and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not helping any people. Specifically based on race is bad and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not helping anybody. People. Specifically based on race is bad and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not helping anybody. Instead, the conversation should be if there are problems in the African-American community, how can we uplift the community? What can we do to show them that marriage is positive, to show them that parenting is positive and where it's at? Instead of, making notions like these that basically just get you on TV in the media all the time and allow you to sell books.
Well, because some of the numbers that he put out there are true. A white woman is twice as likely to get married as a Black woman. Some of what he is saying is true, is what you take exception to, what you say are solutions that aren't actually solutions. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Solutions that are not actually solutions. So if it's true, let's get down to why it's true and bring forth real solutions for the Black community.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, interracial dating is fine. I think who you fall in love with is who you fall in love with. But again, when you say this group of people in this particular instance, which is Black men, are bad and you shouldn't be with them. And I think the craziest thing about all of this is the fact that he's married to a Black woman. Mm-hmm. So what if she took his own advice? They wouldn't be married now.
So what you're saying is, okay, let me make sure I'm clear. He's saying, look outside of your race because there's a problem with your race, as opposed to just be with whoever you choose to be with, regardless of what their race is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's this two-part thing. It's
Okay.
part of it is that, and part of it is this thing about the black man being so bad, just perpetuating these continual stereotypes that we've had now for generations and generations. And the problem becomes when you have people in communities that don't see marriage every day, that don't see those positive images of marriage portrayed, they start to believe things like this. When they see books and they see movies and they see different things, something that marriage is for white people, they start to actually get that into their conscious, and then that passes down from generation to generation.
Because there are plenty of positive images of black marriages out there. I mean, we've got the Obamas. I mean,
Exactly.
There's a Will and Jada. If you don't believe all that tabloid mess is out there,
Right.
an interracial couple. There's Iman and David Oye. There's lots of
You
positive
think
images
celebrities
out there if you choose to
are
see
the
them.
perfect marriage?
Exactly, and that's
Please
exactly what we're
get
doing with
the
our website,
fuck out
trying
of
to
here.
actually build.
They must be out there rabbit mind. Seriously. Oh, my brother, he's still alive.
You know how people are on YouTube.
Yes. Hey, let me ask you a question. How you never hit me up on Facebook? I know you can just make we can make a fake account and say your name is Bertha and be like, this is Baby T.
Because Judah, the last time I was on Facebook, I was on like some forum, and then someone had, I can't remember what it was, a topic, and then because the forum was open and my comments were on there, they somehow managed to report my comments, and I got banned for like 30 days, and I just kept getting continuously banned, so I just gave it up. Thought I can't do it no more. But I might make a private one just for you, so we can talk.
Yeah, man, it's been like years. How long has it been? It's been years.
Well, I was on when you had your old channel last year. I was on there, so it's not been that long. It's only been like.
Well, I had like 5 since then. My shit keep getting terminated, and people keep flagging, and I'm surprised you found me.
I always find you. You're the only actual Israelite that I still.
Did she say slime?
Every other Israelite I've literally unsubscribed from them because I just don't find them interesting. I think they're all about money now. HOI. They're all about money on Patreon. Well, you know my stance with REYC and that whole Joy Morgan thing. I really don't want anything to do with them.
Oh yeah.
And then I was subscribed to ISUPK because they have a group in the UK, but I don't know what happened to their videos.
But they're still making videos. Solomon actually does the Cross the Line from his channel. He runs the Solar Vision Debate League. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, he's a couple of platforms. He runs the debate league, and he challenges ISUPK and all that good stuff. Just some good people over there that you probably remember from years ago. They're over there, like Rob Rack and all them. They're over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. But yeah, man, it's really really good to hear from you because you stop by like every once in a while, and I'd be like, yo, man.
I comment on your videos, but I think YouTube doesn't sometimes allow my comments to come up because a lot of people have said that they can't see my comments on YouTube.
Okay. So, hey, are you still mad at brothers? Because I like when you like. Go ahead, sorry, brother.
No, I'm not mad at no brothers at all. Honest to God, I don't have. To me, anger is just a wasted energy. There's no point in being angry with people. You just have to.
The African tongue
at the end of the day,
clicker. Wow.
Why are you mad at brothers? Come on.
Ooh,
I don't know. You were mad at brothers for a little bit there a couple of years ago.
No, I was never mad.
Man.
No, I wasn't mad at them. No, I just. As I say, when you're young, but no, I wasn't mad.
Hey, Judah, can I bring you on my show, Judah?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, brother, whatever. Hey, all the thirsty parts Negroes are gonna be what? When they hear that voice, it's over.
Why?
We don't really hear too many sisters from the UK.
Yeah, but the ones that live in the UK, because I had this discussion.
It's time for What's Better Than Fleece Edition.
Are haikus better than fleece?
No way.
What about freckles? Freckles?
Grapes? Pet rocks?
Wizards better than fleece?
You stole my bit, Neil. And no, nothing's better than fleece.
Get all jeans, sweatshirts, and hoodies on sale up to 50% off at Old Navy.
Something that Jane said about the angry black woman. And who are the black women you see on the local news at night in cities all over the country? They're usually angry about something.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
I think about all that Black women do for society and how the thank you that we get,
Love y'all
constant
sisters, though,
disrespect,
but y'all
how we're not
need to
protected,
come correct.
how we're sexualized and fetishized in the media, how it's kind of like we're abandoned.
Society like does not have a Black woman's back. Like she didn't even do anything. She just was being Black.
When you're born and you're born a woman, you already have one thing stacked against you. You're born and you're a Black woman, you have both of those things stacked against you. You just have to work hard as fuck. And there's no system in place to help you thrive.
It's really sad to think about how young it is that we all internalize those things. I may not have had the words for it, but I knew that I wasn't going to be accepted being a 4C, dark-skinned, thick Black girl. Like, I just knew that.
People in elementary school who would call like me a monkey or something like that. And it's sad that we like to think that we've come so far, but we haven't.
It's mind-boggling the fact that Black people in general, and then also Black women, are still being compared to animals.
I feel like I'm a very strong person, but I'm always afraid to show that I'm too strong because I'm always afraid that it will play into that stereotype and all of a sudden I'll be looked at as masculine because of these stereotypes that are put upon Black women.
Black women should be quiet into themselves and sort of have their heads down and just like kind of try and blend in. You are not allowed to be a bigger woman, tall, and also stand up tall and be confident. It's just like not allowed. The thing that makes me most angry is the fact that I feel like no one really has my back except other Black women. It's really tough to feel alone in a fight to be seen as equal and just as successful and just as amazing as anyone else.
The variety of Black women is really important in media because we are seen as only one thing, and that's sassy, or we have too much attitude, and we can never be anything else without that. There's no such thing as an angry Black woman, but a Black woman who happens to be angry.
I'm gonna do everything that I can to then channel that very deep pit of anger that I have into something to show you that that's not who I am, that's not who I've ever been, that's not who Leslie is, that's not who Michelle Obama is. Like, I get that bullshit is out there, so then I'm like, what can I do with my work, with my art, to change that, to change the narrative, to tell people that, we're more than this.
For the young Black girl out there, I would say, think about all the things that we contribute every day to society and how we built this country on our backs. Like, we did it. So think about how, even though that's a tragedy, think about how awesome we are. Like all the shit that we have gone through, we still win the gold medal. I mean, come on.
You are worthy, you are beautiful, and no one gets to take that away from you. Like the minute that you let somebody else dictate who you are and your beauty, like you've already given that to them. I don't get, like, you don't get my worth, it's my worth.
And just because someone lays down rules of what is beautiful, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with that.
I think that it is important, though, that when you are feeling that intensely about any kind of injustice or some kind of, people belittling you for something that you don't deserve to be belittled for, it is important to be in that moment when you feel it, but then I don't want to live in it.
It's hard to manage your workload, especially when your team doesn't know who's working on what. But with Monday...
Angry black woman.
Crazy.
Why do you say that?
Because they're all crazy, crazy angry black women. I've seen them. Why? Why does that have to be a question?
Probably majority of them are single mothers. Is a recipe for a good angry black woman.
Unapologetic.
Someone who's just like super sassy, raising your voice.
It's just so stupid. Rather than people saying, oh, well, why is this woman so mad? Suppressing their true emotions because you don't want to hear it.
Stereotype. In the media, if you speak out or something like that, or you express your emotions, then you're the angry black woman.
Yeah, someone called me like that.
Do you think that's an easy way to shut someone down?
Well, I don't think so, because they didn't shut me down.
I kind of feel like that word is tossed out anytime that we speak up for ourselves. It's not even just when we're angry. It's whenever we speak in difference to somebody else. Why you gotta put race on it?
It's just an angry woman. What? Everyone's angry. Everyone's angry. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian.
I don't think it's a stereotype. I think it's a role that's being played because it's real. When I think of an angry black woman, I think of a woman that's been betrayed or hurt.
Typically when someone's angry and they get described as that usually means there's some unresolved hurt.
Honestly, just think of the movie, the Tyler Perry movie. Angry black women in movies, look like that, but most black women aren't angry.
I'm not an angry black woman. I'm goofy. They think we're all ghetto, welfare queens, uneducated, and in real life, we're probably some of the happiest, most positive people you'll ever meet in your life. Get to know us.
How do you learn a subject or skill in half the time? Let's do this together. I want you to right now think of a subject or skill that you...
This topic, I never thought this would happen to me. I remember when it did, but more importantly, I remember exactly how it felt. It all started when I was running for governor of Texas in one of those war room sessions. For those of you who don't know, the war room is where the core campaign team comes together. We vet all the dirt, we dish out everything. Only the strongest opinions are aired, and brutal honesty is the norm. You have to be able to take it. In this particular war room session, I was preparing to introduce an immigration policy that I was proposing. And this immigration policy, I knew it was going to be controversial because I was proposing to give dignity and hope to immigrants in Texas. And as you may know, this is very defiant of the status quo and also extremely unconventional for our state and our political party. So I was prepared for the pushback, and I knew I was coming in also balancing a good blend of logic and humanity. So just as I'm getting ready to talk, I did raise my voice because I got excited. I started to lean in. I was really intense. I used my hands and I spoke with fervor because I was passionate. I wanted my team to know these words had a mission. Just as I was cresting to my most important point, I get one of my main guys, one that I love the most. I even nicknamed him Tyrone. You know, he's white, but I called him Tyrone. He's my man. He said, "Lisa, whoa, you need to back off. You look like the angry Black woman." And I'm gonna tell you, a heat hit my throat. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh no, you didn't call me that. But then because wouldn't that make his point? But I called on my ability to keep a cool head, and I said, "Oh, you would be silly. I don't look like that. Let's just get back on topic." But the truth is, once he hit me with that label, the tables completely turned. And it was no longer about this wonderful, game-changing policy on immigration, but it became about how I could, under no circumstances, in any shape or form, be seen on the campaign trail as the angry Black woman. The media would just, I'd lose all credibility with the media and in the campaign, and they would lose respect for me. So in order to regain ground, I felt compelled to back off, listen to them, and take their cues on the right way to earn this credibility back. But I'm going to be honest with you, I got a little angry for not being able to show the passion I intended to show. More than that, not to discuss this immigration policy. And it left me tight-lipped and frustrated and thinking, why? Why does it always have to be anger? We can trace the notion of the angry Black woman to the Amos and Andy show more than 60 years ago with Sapphire. Sapphire was the neck-snapping, finger-waving, husband emasculating wife of Andy. Since Sapphire, characters have proliferated through television and media, giving us Esther from Sanford and Son to Tyler Perry's Medea. But who is she really today to us? The truth is that no matter your education level, how you look, what you have done in your life, you are likely going to be hit with this moniker if you're a successful Black woman who steps outside of common arenas in your life. And yet we know that the angry Black woman is a stereotype that fits across racial and gender lines. My personal favorite of this, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he gets us from the hair woes, the pooched out lips, and his hands, and he's just gonna say, you're fired. Donald Trump gets to be the angry Black woman with great success. We don't see him as angry, we see him as a successful leader in his industry. I read once that Steve Jobs once responded to an overeager college journalist who was persisting for an interview and they were just starting out. He gave her 3 words. He said, "Leave us alone." Now, I don't know about you ladies, but when a nice, sweet college journalist persists for an interview, I wrote back, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have time. How about, in 2 more years?" But he wrote, "Leave us alone." We don't do that because we'd be afraid we'd be called something that rhymes with stitch or angry. But Jobs, known for his explosive personality, is even credited with his creativity and thinking out of the box for his angry personality. That's what I want to be. When is the last time you've heard an assertive white male in a leadership position be labeled as angry? Eccentric, perhaps. Oh, okay. Maybe rude, but never angry. But there are exceptions I wanted to share with you. I just couldn't let this go. Bravo to these 3 men who came up in my Google image search for the angry Black woman. We got us some 50 Cent. Or did I just lose credibility there because you really have to call him 50? But All jokes aside, no woman, and certainly not any Black woman, can risk being seen as the angry Black woman. Nothing scares us more, seriously, than being perceived under these terms. One of the first things our First Lady had to contend with when she came onto the scene is to defend herself against this stereotype. Recently, she gave a speech at Tuskegee College where she was candid about the pressure she faced being the first African American First Lady. What would she wear? It was too young. What would she wear? She looks too old. She talked candidly about how it felt to see herself depicted in that afro with a machine gun, and how the little innocent fist bump that we all do, just trying to be like the kids, got hailed as a terrorist fist jab by the media. She was so candid about the fine line that Black women in the line walk between respect and ridicule. It was really her experience growing up Black in America. But critics immediately pushed back on this speech. They said it was negative, it was trite, and what else? Angry. They even went so far as to accuse the First Lady of playing the race card. And it doesn't stop there. But the good thing, though, is where, and this is the important part of this, is where her critics saw anger, the students in her audience saw that she was speaking truth and passion. But it doesn't just stop here with the political rhetoric and divisiveness. The angry Black woman, Sapphire, still haunts us in television and media, even though the roles and characters for Black women have been elevated, including the elevation of their writers. Shonda Rhimes. Many of us might be familiar with her work. She's the brilliant writer and storyteller behind some of the biggest shows on TV right now: Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. Miss Rhimes and her lead actresses and the characters themselves are educated, strong, successful women earning their success in a male-dominated arena. And yet, just recently, a New York Times columnist decided that the lead characters in Rhimes's shows was cast in Rhimes's own image as the angry Black woman. Interestingly enough, where this journalist again saw anger in all of these women's characters, the viewers and fans of Miss Rhimes see strong representation of Black women and voices where they have leadership and dominance that have been a long time coming. They don't see anger, they see assertiveness. And this is why this distinction between anger and assertiveness, anger and audacity, anger and passion is so important. Our world is missing out on the wealth of knowledge and experience of Black women. Women who know how to stretch a dollar, women who know how to talk and market to other women, women who know what it's like to continue to hold your head up high even when your soul is downcast. These are that organizations in our society needs. I always find it interesting how we marvel and raise up successful Black men who attribute a lot of their success to being raised by a single Black woman. And we do this without considering all of the leadership, management, and skills and diplomacy this woman must have had to do this on her own. And two, without considering all of the things that must have indeed made her angry, but angry enough to do better for herself and her family. Because you see, where anger may have been the catalyst, love was the reason. But this stereotype is dangerous to us as a society because women, Black women especially, remain silent across several core industries because of this stereotype. From technology, finance, engineering, elected leadership positions in government, and the list goes on, oil and gas. Black women remain silent, maybe not even because they don't speak up, but because they aren't even there in the first place. Black women make up 3% of board seats at Fortune 500 companies. Ursula Burns, you thought 3 was bad? 1. She is the only Black female chief at a Fortune 500 company. We need the power and the empowerment to have the passion, the pluck, and candor of Donald Trump without being seen as angry and without people thinking we've lost our ability to be rational and have lowered our IQ. I just put that in there because the French Open's on. I love Serena. And I thought, why not? I want the freedom to be the angry Black woman. Originally when I wrote this talk and thought about it, I was going to change the A to something we could all get excited about, and make it the ambitious odd Black woman. Wouldn't that be saying more? We can do better as read a woman or any Black woman to conform so that society can see her value and understand who she is. The idea is for all of us to see our human connectedness in this stereotype, to see one another in each other's stereotypes, and to think differently about what it means to be female and angry, or the relationship between gender and race and anger. And to all remember that anger is like every emotion. It's varying, there's varying degrees of anger. We all get angry sometimes, like happiness, joy, awe, wonder, and sadness. It's appropriate at the right time and in the right context. You'll be happy to know if you've gotten angry recently, like I probably have, that Christy Mata, behavioral therapist, says that anger has its upsides. Anger informs us when things matter to us, helps us break down stereotypes, helps us to stand up for ourselves and other people and right wrongs. And that's the truth about anger and the angry Black woman that we need to accept and think about. Let me tell you who the angry Black woman really is. She's awesome. She's awesome because she's likely had to uphill climb her whole life to get to where she is today. And it's that uphill journey that has given her the resolve and fuel for her dedication. She's dedicated. She takes up causes that many of us don't realize and informs us what can matter, what's important in the world. She's real. She will tell you the truth. And is there a neck roll? There might be a neck roll, but there's nothing wrong with that. You can handle a neck roll. And she's a doer. This is a woman who gets things done and who's not content with the status quo. I want the freedom to be the angry Black woman because I look at where we would be without all the angry Black women who've come before us who put progress over posture. The angry Black woman is an essential voice to us as we speak up and out, break down barriers, and push humanity forward. Not him. When I am tempted to back down, speak more softly, or grin and bear it and just move along, I think about what they've done. I think about how they saw a situation that made them angry and they took a stand that we're all grateful for today. They didn't take an angry stand, but a passionate one. Because again, where anger may have been the catalyst, love was the reason. So when I think about that, I don't back down, but I give myself, I say, sister, no, you don't have time for that. You have to rise up. and I rise. Thank you, Harriet Tubman. Thank you, Rosa Parks. Thank you, Michelle Obama. Thank you, Shonda Rhimes. Thank you, Condoleezza Rice and Oprah. I don't know how you can thank a successful Black woman without thanking a woman, a billionaire like her. But I say thank you because I want the freedom to be just like them, like all of them. Because now I realize that in that war room, when they called me the angry Black woman, I shouldn't have been insulted. No, I should have been proud. Because where anger was the catalyst, love is the reason. Thank you so much.
All right, good folks. I hope you enjoy that. That was strictly for the sisters. Hope it is some type of encouragement for you. For the viewers, Real Talk, man, Volume 1, Part 2. Hey, I'm your brother, your house speaker, Dalo. Uh, all praises to you, Hubble. We still love you, sisters. But I know y'all sisters are out of order though. But still, you know, hope that's some words of encouragement. Until then, man, shalom.